Welcome to the video tutorial of the Lower Mainland and how to kind of get around, learn a little bit what you need, and hopefully answer some questions you guys might have. Vancouver Airport, which is right here, it's not actually in Vancouver. It's actually part of Richmond, which is where the wedding is taking place. So this island here is called Sea Island, and the wedding is actually right here in this little nook right here. So you can see that you're actually pretty close in proximity to for where you're flying into where you need to stay. Most people think of again it's of Vancouver. So Vancouver is this section right here, with the heart of Vancouver being in this little section over here. So when you fly in, you can fly into Vancouver. The other option, there is an airport in Abbotsford, which is right here. There are direct flights here. Those of you coming from Hamilton, they have quite a few flights going there, and the flights generally are a little cheaper. The downfall is you then need to get from Abbotsford to Richmond. This highway, Highway 1, can be a very busy highway, and I would say a drive from here to here in peak times is going to take you anywhere from probably around 2 hours minimum from there to there if you go through peak time. Plus, then you're going to be having to most likely you're going to have to do a rental. And if you're not looking to expend that money on the rental and you want to use public transport, then unless you get a really good deal going into Abbotsford, it's still probably best trying to fly into Vancouver. So zooming in a little bit here in Vancouver, there are quite a few hotels in the area, so it shouldn't be too much of a concern trying to find a hotel. I'm going to give you some of my suggestions, some of my non-suggestions, and with the venue being, and the venue is right here. So if we go to just show you kind of an over top of view. So it's on top, it's actually on a boathouse over top, well, not really a boathouse, they call it a boathouse, but it's on the water. And this is the Fraser River. I'm going to back to the other view just because it's a little easier to see. That's going right here. Your nearest hotel is the Radisson Hotel. This is a very nice hotel. There's also one here called the Western Wall. This is where I stayed when I first moved to Vancouver area, into Richmond. Um, both are very nice hotels. This one here is definitely within walking distance if you're wanting to walk back and forth here. There's also some sky trains in this area, which I will get to a little later. Some of the other nicer hotels are also just on the other side of the highway here. And you have this Sandman signature. There's a Sandman here. There are a Travel Lodge and there's another hotel. There's actually another Sandman that's right beside here. I don't recommend these ones here. These ones, there's one down here though. This is a nice one over here. And for most of them, there are a few that are down here as well. These ones are also nice hotels. I would try to stay in this area though. You can get hotels that are going to be down this here. We call it Steveston area. There might be there's a few that's kind of splattered throughout this area. But I would try to recommend staying along this number 3 road. So number 3 here, this is our main road in Richmond. Our SkyTrain system, which is basically the same as the Tube or the subway, the TTC, all that kind of stuff. That's our version here. It's called the SkyTrain. And the reason they call it the SkyTrain is because it's literally in the sky. It's all built up on platforms. This will be your main go-to to get out of Richmond. Most people, I imagine, are going to be coming for Richmond probably for about a week. It's a good opportunity just to kind of see some of the Lower Mainland, Vancouver, the area. It's absolutely beautiful, and I would highly recommend if you can just to spend a week here. And hence why it's one of the good reasons you're going to want to stay on along number 3 because the SkyTrain takes you right up into the heart of Vancouver, which is over here. Absolutely beautiful. It's a great time of year you're going to be there. You can take, because then the SkyTrain comes right to here. There's a water ferry that goes into this area here, which has some really nice parks. Actually, it's over here. I think it's over here. And that's pretty cheap. It's like $3 a person to get across. So that is my recommendation for hotels. I can give you kind of a list. I'll probably try to attach some of my options in there, just for you guys to look at. Unfortunately, trying to do a block hotel, They take that as an opportunity to charge more money, not so much of a discount. So I'm going to unfortunately have to leave that for every person to kind of look into it themselves, as well as a lot of people have there's a lot of family that's in this area. If you're looking to try to get assistance and trying to stay with someone, that's up to you guys and how you want to deal with that. The airport itself, the SkyTrain does come into here. So it goes right from here and it splits off and into Vancouver and into Richmond, which then will meet at the Brickhouse Station, which is right over here, or Brickport Station, and then it goes down. You can get to here to free. Unfortunately, if you're going to get across the bridge over to here, it's a charge. I think it's like $2 a person. It's not very expensive. It depends. It's based off of zones, so it depends on how many zones you go through as how much it's going to cost you. But it shouldn't cost you really any more than $6 a person to get anywhere, so it's not too bad. Um, you can get Ubers, taxis. They all are lined up here. If you're going to go anywhere from here, basically this area here, it's about $20 per cab ride. So both are, it depends on how far you want to go and how much you want to spend on doing that, but that's also another option. Now, if you're staying in Richmond, uh, it is a very heavily Asian culture. About 80% of Richmond is Asian background, whether they speak Mandarin or Cantonese. Most of them are able to, if you go to a restaurant, they can have English options in the menus, you can understand it. And but it is very heavy into the Asian cuisine. So if that's not something you like, then you might want to look at staying somewhere more in Vancouver. However, for proximity and getting around, unless you want to get a rental, you're going to have to live with that. It's also really an opportunity to try some more local stuff. The Asian food is authentic Asian food, not the stuff you're going to get in a shopping center at like a downtown the mall. It's really good. They have really good sushi, all that kind of stuff, and it's a good opportunity to try something a little new. So that is kind of that. Again, I'll put some links towards that. Now, right on the other side of this water here, so this right here is kind of the start of the mountains. So if I go to here, you can see the mountains start right here. You guys probably all heard of Whistler. So Squamish is right here. You keep going up this way, and Whistler is just right over here. Absolutely beautiful area. If you guys do get a rental and don't want to go all the way up to Squamish, because this road can get pretty backed up, Squamish is an absolutely beautiful area. They have a sea to sky gondola, which takes you up into the mountains, which is right here, and it'll take you up to this mountain. It's about 45 bucks a person. I would recommend doing that over doing this, say, the suspension bridge, which is cool, but I think this is more worth it. But this entire area is beautiful. There's tons of hiking trails all through this entire area. My favorite one is actually down over here. It's in, actually, that's over there. It's a little farther over here. It's the, oh, Crystal Falls is beautiful too. Um, we are, zoom out. Got myself lost. Maple Ridge. It's in down this area here. I'll send links to it, some pictures there, but it's in the, here. It's Golden Ears Park. Absolutely beautiful, and I would highly recommend this. Nice waterfalls there. There are other options if you're not staying in Richmond because you might be able to find some things a little cheaper. Surrey, for example, is very heavy in the Indian culture, lots of Indian cuisine. Vancouver is more of your, I'd say, your Caucasian population, so you're looking for more of your standard stuff, and then Richmond's your Asian. The other option people have, and well, you have many options, but things I'll talk about is going down to the island. So this here is Vancouver Island, which is bigger than it looks like on most maps, but it's pretty big. And most people will probably head down to Victoria if you want to try something a little different. There is a ferry that leaves right here. This is out of Delta. It's about 85 bucks for a vehicle, and then you pay per person in the car as well. So for two people, round trip, you're probably going to be looking at about 200 bucks. That leaves out of here and sails through here and meets up in Schwartz Bay. You can take this ferry as a passenger, and there are buses that meet up in Schwartz Bay as well as in Delta at the port here. I don't know a lot about those ones, unfortunately. I usually drive when I take this route. So that's one thing to take. Actually, the port's right. Yeah. So that's for the option there. And then this is not a very far drive if you want to spend some time in Victoria. The ferry ride itself is about 2 hours, and I would recommend it if you can, if you have the time. It's something nice to do. Other thing you can notice is this is the border. You're right along the edge to the United States. In fact, you can actually, this here, the little blob of land is actually the United States. So you can see how quick it is to get to the United States, and Seattle is right over here. Unfortunately, it's no longer part of the NFL season, so you won't be able to watch the Seahawks play. But that's also because they just lost and got eliminated yesterday, and I'm still a little bitter about that. If you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to send me text, email, whatnot, or message Jessica if she's your primary source and you haven't met me yet. We can answer any kind of questions you guys have. Hopefully this video gives you a little bit of answers onto what you're looking at and to what to kind of do. There's tons of activities. Vancouver has a lot of fun stuff. There's a science world. I call it the fish zoo, but apparently it's called the aquarium. Uh, it really kind of tailors on what you're looking at doing and what kind of experiences you want to have while you're here. Um, Weather-wise, May is kind of inconsistent. Some Mays are absolutely beautiful, sunny. I think last May we had it. It was high 20s, very nice weather. Sometimes it can be really rainy. This season so far has been a pretty dry, well, not dry, it's been a very warm season. So it's not really expected to be very wet for the year. So it should be pretty good weather. Um, I would recommend if you have a chance, you want somewhere a little closer to, White Rock is really nice. There are some beautiful beaches. I think there's a pier here. It's like some kind of record for the longest pier. You can walk out here and get some nice pictures. Unfortunately, the water for the whole bay here is going to be a little too cold come May. Like I wouldn't be swimming in there unless some kind of record thing happens. But I wouldn't really expect to be doing much outdoor swimming while you're here. Not until a little later in the year, unfortunately. Hopefully that answers most of your guys' questions. If you have any more, like I said, message us. We want to help you guys out and figuring things out and just kind of getting uh, some answers to your stuff. Richmond itself has a lot you can do if you're not planning on spending a lot of money and you wanted to stay in the Richmond. It's super easy. We have it call it the Dike. So the dike goes all along the exterior of the river or the Richmond here. It goes up to here. It actually cuts here. It cuts off a little bit in here because of some hotels, casinos, and stuff here. Then it meets up here, and it basically goes around the entirety of Richmond. Not so much over here, but and this is a nice walking path. It goes all the way around. It's absolutely beautiful, and I would recommend if you have a chance, at least do a small portion of it. It's really nice. We have movie theaters, we have malls, we have uh, you want to do laser tag or mini putt or any of that kind of stuff. There's things to do. Look into rentals. You can get around. Keep in mind that these highways here, being the Lower Mainland, it does get pretty busy during your peak hours, and just knowing which way traffic is flowing. So what that means is a lot of people come into Richmond going this way in the morning because they're heading up to Vancouver. A lot of people in Vancouver don't live in Vancouver; they live elsewhere. So traffic is going through everybody to get to Vancouver, and then in the end of the day, it's the other way. Everyone's going again into Richmond, but heading out this way, heading out of Richmond. So you can kind of go against the flow if you can try, but do expect if you're only going 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers, it will take you probably twice the time that you would normally take back home just because of the heavy traffic, unless you're already living in a major city. Um, that's just something to take in consideration. Yeah, I think that kind of sums up all the information I kind of have for you right off the bat. But if you have any questions, shoot the message to me or Jess. Awesome. Bye.